Hello and welcome to Hitting the Field. I'm your host, Jeremy Taché, and I'm joined by CarMax Millionard.
Today, at the Career Services and Experiential Building, Ms. Tasha McDaniel had a loan payment seminar, gave out some great information.
A little over 24 students came to the Career Services Building to listen to what Ms. Tasha McDaniel from Great Lakes had to say about paying off their student loans.
There are variations here, but you have the ability to choose a repayment plan that will give you a monthly payment that's going to fit your budget.
The 24 or so students who attended the loan repayment seminar took in some valuable information.
What originally brought me to this seminar was that I needed points for my GED class, but I learned that if you wait to pay off your loans, that you're going to be paying almost double. So it's better to start now, like while you're in college, if you can.
I spoke with Dr. Karima Mansell, one of the associate directors at the Office of Student Financial Assistance, to get a better understanding of what she does to help students out.
We understand that students are borrowing and often they don't understand what their options are when it comes to student loan repayment. We want to make sure that students have that information as they enter repayment.
Reporting in Orlando, CarMax Millionard, UCF Nightly News.
Carl, we look at Klay Thompson and Steph Curry specifically, 11 of 38 from the field. And I want to get your comments. The Spurs are able to hold them to 79 points. Tim Duncan only plays 8 minutes, and I know that the Warriors are without Andrew Bogut and Andre Iguodala. Does this give Spurs hope in a 7-game series to beat the Warriors?
I believe so. They know that they can play with them, especially at home. So if they play them in a 7-game series, it's going to come to that final game in 7. So will Golden State trump them at home, or will San Antonio get that road win? Right. San Antonio is the #1 defensive team in the NBA, and they showed that prowess against Golden State. This was a mind-boggling stat for me. This was Steph Curry's first game this season where he had a negative PER, and the third game in 3 years where he's had a negative PER. So Steph Curry's been on the ball for the last 3 years, and San Antonio was able to disrupt him. When he's running off his screens, you would see Boris Diaw or even LaMarcus Aldridge, big men, come out on the wing, disrupt them with their length. You need length against this team. You can disrupt them off the screens, running around them with your big man on the wings with length. So Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Boris Diaw, even though Tim Duncan only played 8 minutes, his 8 minutes were productive. So if you want to stop the Splash Brothers, you got to get up in their face and play physical. Will the refs allow that in the playoffs? That's to be determined.
CarMax, we will start this one with you. The consensus around the NFL media seems to be that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots are the best team in football after their 7-1 start. So I ask you, and we're going to have to go through this quickly because we ran long on the MLB, are the Pats the team to be reckoned with?
Yes, they are the best team in the National Football League right now. We can't say anything about the Pats that we haven't said for the last decade. They just have been the best duo, Tom Brady and Coach Belichick, the best QB coach duo in NFL history, hands down. They should arguably rename the Vince Lombardi Trophy to the Bill Belichick
Absolutely.
Trophy. They've just been so dominant no matter what. They go through suspensions with Brady this year. They started off 3-1, almost 4-0. And Brady's just been lights out, throws 7 touchdowns, no interceptions so far in the year, highest passing rating in the NFL this year. So definitely they are the team to reckon with in the NFL this year.
And what's it going to take for Nate Diaz to beat Conor McGregor in the 196?
For him to take on McGregor, he has a great chin. He can take hits. A lot of people who haven't been successful against McGregor don't have great chins. They'll fall down. So Nate can take a lot of hits. So if he wants to endure the three rounds of 5 minutes from straight action from McGregor, that's his best way to take him out. Tire him out, make him throw his strikes. He's eventually going to get gassed out. Maybe if you could take him to the ground, take him to the ground. And then you do that. But I still think at the end of the day, McGregor wins in the second round by TKO.
Carl?
For me, a shout out to Meech's Denver Nuggets out here and Nikola Jokic. He's number 8 in PER in the whole NBA. That's higher than LeBron James,
That's
the greatest player in the world. And he's 2 spots behind Nikola Jokic. Arguably the most improved player of the year this year. Moved 6 points up in his points per game, 2 points in his rebounding, and 4.6 assists a game. He dropped 40 points on Porzingis and MSG just a couple nights ago. So Nikola Jokic is definitely, to me, is the most surprising player this NBA season.
And Carl, and how happy were you with Kevin Love's display?
Oh, Kevin Love played a great game. The whole entire Big Three had a big game. Kevin Love at 28, LeBron 22, Kyrie playoff career high, 31 points. If you want to beat the Golden State Warriors or even come out of the East, the Big Three has to show out like that. And not every day Detroit's going to have a game like that where they're going to shoot lights out, 10 threes in the first half alone. Right. So if you want to win, they're going to have the Big Three has to have performances like that. So they just have to keep it going.
Carl, can he be the MVP?
I believe so that he can be the MVP. Ezekiel Elliott is playing lights out right now, over 1,000 yards right now. He's on pace to have
about 2,000 yards. The last time we had a running back that had 2,000 yards, that was in 2012, Adrian Peterson. He just so happened to be the MVP that year. So coincidence? I think not.
I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors. Now 72-9 after beating the Spurs on Wednesday. They could clinch now, being the best team in regular season history, beating the 95-96 Bulls. Carl, we just got done talking a couple weeks ago about how that loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves really set them back against a young team that had nothing to play for. How good is this team?
This team is really good. They needed that win against San Antonio the other night at the AT&T Center, where San Antonio was undefeated, and now they made them have their first loss of the year. They needed that win to go steamrolling into the playoffs. They have one more game at the Oracle. I think they're gonna show out for the fans, and they're gonna win by at least 12-15 against Memphis and break the 72-10 record and finish the year at 73-9.
Is this more about the Patriots' comeback or the Falcons' collapse, Carl?
It's the collapse. I mean, you give credit where credit is due. Tom Brady is the GOAT, and he's definitely the best quarterback, arguably, in NFL history. But you have a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl, 19-point lead in the fourth quarter. The Patriots scored 31 unanswered points against you. You have the 3rd-and-1 calls that were just horrible by Kyle Shanahan. 3rd-and-1, you don't run the ball. You want to milk the clock and just get in field goal range for Matt Bryant and kick the game-winning field goal.
Right.
It's all about the Falcons losing that game. But like you say, the last time Tony Romo was healthy was in 2014. He has a problem with staying healthy. And if you got something going for you, if it ain't broke, don't break it. Dak Prescott is the first rookie quarterback to win 7 of their first 8 games in the Super Bowl era. Him alone with Ezekiel Elliott, those 2 rookies are handling business for the Dallas Cowboys, and they have the best record in the NFC, and it shows 71. And they arguably could be 8-0 if it wasn't for Terrence Williams in that first game with the Giants. So I'm with the Dak wave. I say you play him until he makes the mistake, because Tony Romo is the starting quarterback. But like we have the wave going with Dak, you don't want to break it. But here's the thing. This team always has trouble when it comes to playoff series. They haven't won a playoff series since 2001. That's a long time.
And isn't there something to be said that Paul George might be the best player in this series and he's on the other team?
Oh, for sure. Paul George is definitely the best player in this series, coming back from that broken leg injury, just having a phenomenal season this year. So if Paul George can will the entire Pacer team just to get another game and still another game and come back to Indiana, who knows what can happen in this series.
Regardless of the 280 through the air and 170 on the ground for Lamar Jackson, 4 total touchdowns, he turned the ball over 4 times in the loss. And now that's back-to-back losses for the Cardinals, and it's halted some of the unanimous Heisman talk for Jackson. Is he still the Heisman? And if not, who should be? What are your thoughts on this one, Karl Max?
Even though he's been struggling the last couple of weeks, I still think Lamar Jackson is the head and shoulders favorite. But he has some trailers coming behind him. If anyone is able to take away his Heisman momentum, I would say it would be Deshaun Watson out of Clemson. He has
the guy who beat him when they went head-to-head.
Who beat him. So they already have the head-to-head, and he has 34 touchdowns and 14 interceptions and almost 4,000 all-purpose yards for Deshaun Watson. And he has one more game left. He has the ACC championship against Virginia Tech next week. So if he has a great showing out against Virginia Tech, he could possibly sway some voters to his side.